everyone. Thanks again for joining the webinar today. My name is Dean. I'll be guiding you through SQL Yoga's tips and tricks, and then I'll just give you a quick overview of SQL Yoga, the product. So, what we'll do is we'll just go through some tips and tricks as usual, and then at the end of the webinar, we'll just go have a quick walkthrough about SQL Yoga. I'll show you all the things that we'll see through this presentation. So let's begin. Uh, so SQL Yoga is basically a database management solution. It's something that will help you, manage your MySQL database, and it is something that helps developers to build queries, build backups, and keep them in sync. Now, what we'll learn today is how to maximize the trial experience. As usual, we will understand the trial limitations, then license structures, and ways to get help after the and during the trial. Now, let's go through the various major features, because this presentation will focus on the power tool features that are there, the primary features that people look for while using SQL Yoga. So one of the primary features is database synchronization. So it is something that is quite used by people who manage MySQL databases. They need something that helps them keep their data in sync. So this is something that institutions and individuals need to manage their data systematically. They'll need it to streamline the process of managing data. uh, that helps them, if they invest in high performance database management software, it will help them store and organize data in a centralized database, so that they can access that data easily, and then edit and update it wherever required. Now, sometimes users require a local backup of that data. There are some old ways to do that, like using a scripting language like PHP to delete all the data from local databases and insert it again from the master server. Now, sometimes this approach works, but most of the times it's a long process and becomes a chore. So what you can do is you can use something that is called the database synchronization feature in SQL Yoga. So syncing to data can be a full-time job. So to help you track duplicate databases across different sites, all of which undergo changes at different times. See, we have provided something that will help you overcome this administrative nightmare. So SQL Yoga will help you, not only just synchronize databases, it will help you bypass all the complex setup and installation tasks. And this will provide you a quick wizard that will help you back up and synchronize. So once you have clicked SQL Yoga, you just need to click on the Power Tools bar and click on Database Synchronization Wizard to start a new job. So SQL Yoga uses a job agent for DB Sync. It's called SAA, SQL Yoga job Agent. It is a high-performance multi-thread application to automate and schedule synchronization of data between two MySQL hosts. So it can be used as a command line tool as well, that accepts a job definition file encoded in XML as one of the parameters. Now, you can create the job definition file manually, or use one of the wizards included with SQL Yoga. If you use SQL Yoga to create your files, you won't need any knowledge about XML or job definition schema. Now, SJA does not require any installation. It runs at the host MySQL server. So you can use any host to run the SJA. For example, you can run it on the production database and complete the sync with your test databases located in your PC or LAN. Now, how to initiate it? As I mentioned before, there is a Power Tools menu from where you can initiate it, or you can press Control Alt W to initiate this synchronization wizard. You will need to provide details about your source and target databases. As I have mentioned before in previous webinars as well, a source database is the one whose data you want to copy to the target database. The target database is the one whose data you want will be synced with the source database. Now, this is how a database synchronization wizard looks like. You will see a connectivity option there. So you will see various connectivity options like HTTP, SSH, direct connection, or SSL. It's up to you on which connectivity option you take. You can select multiple, you can select different databases as well. We'll have options of multiple databases that you have connected via SQL Yoga. You can just select one of them to sync them. Now, once you do that, you will get synchronization options. So we have three synchronization options. One is one-way synchronization. As the name suggests, it will just synchronize everything that is in the source to the target database. Two-way synchronization will sync both the source and target with each other. So anything that is missing in source and is there in target will be just copied over to the source. That's two-way sync. Visually merged data is a visual data merging that is that is available in SQL Yoga. We will go through that in visual data compare later. So all you need to remember while using this feature is that database synchronization uses the primary key of every table to identify rows. So when create a sync job, database is identified as source, another is target. So if both tables have row with same primary key value, the rule is that source will override target. A two-way sync is just a one-way sync from source to target and then target to source. So if data is to be inserted on both servers, in the primary key must be defined in such a way that same value for the primary key will not be created in both the server. So you can also back it up using a window scheduler. So let's say if you have something that you want to update every week or every day, what you can do is you can use this wizard, and then you can use the window scheduler that comes with Windows to set up a sync at a specific time at a specific day or every day. It's up to you, and repeat that sync every time. So this feature will be launched automatically according to the set schedule that you made. You could indicate the name in the job file, which will be saved in the XML format, and the name for a MS Windows schedule, which will be automatically created for you by SQL Yoga as soon as the job is saved. So the property window will appear, and you'll be able to schedule as necessary at the end of the visit. So this is how it looks. You will see that there is an option that's called save and schedule it using Windows Scheduler. Just need to select that and click on next, and a Windows Scheduler option will pop up. Now, we also have an option that's called schema synchronization. It is a visual comparison and synchronization tool that is designed for developers who work between different MySQL servers and need to keep databases between the two MySQL servers in a sync. So this means reporting the differences between tables, indexes, columns, routines of two databases and getting scripts to bring them in sync. So as you can see at the bottom panel, you will see the script that is generated for this, for the differences. The differences are highlighted, in green in the target, and you will see the ones that are, not that's objects that are created in target, that's available here in green. Now, what are the key points that you will need to remember while using schema synchronization tool? You will need to remember that it is designed in a way to help you report the differences. So identify it is designed to help you identify the differences. uh, it is something that uh, helps you do a side-by-side comparison. So it supports column index routines comparison, enabling you to quickly insert and drop columns, indexes, and routines. If there are any differences in the schema of a column or index or a routine, a schema sync tool generates the correct script and applies those changes. Now, you can initiate this with a control Q shortcut to start the tool. Now, if you click on either of the database drop-down lists, SQL Yoga shows you a combined list for all the available databases from multiple connections that you have made through SQL Yoga. Select the two databases that you want to compare from the combo boxes. So there are different colors that are signified in different meanings. So below, these are the actual meanings of those colors. So the objects that are in blue, there is a difference at least in one of the columns, indexes or routines between the two databases. In addition, the order of fields in the indexes is considered when comparing index objects. If it's in green, then the object is present in the database and needs to be created in the other database. Now, if it's in gray, then the object is not present in the database and needs to be dropped in the other database. Uh, so that will come as green in the alternate box as we saw before in the previous image. Now, if it's black, then there is no difference found between the two database objects. It's as simple as that. Now, as I mentioned before, we have a way to visually compare data and visually sync data. So that is called visual schema compare. So a visual comparison is an interactive implementation of DBSync. So they use the same code. They are run in attendant mode where you will need to be able to compare data from source and target before taking an action. So you will need to be there when you're working on the visual data compare. The option is available from Power Tools menu. Once you specify connection parameters of source and target database, you can select which table you would like to compare. And if you'd like to compare differences of all tables, you can click on the sync all database. So there is an option that's called Preview SQL. Clicking on this will get a pop-up which will display the summary of queries which will be executed in the source and target database. So this is how we get to VDC, Visual Data Compare. You just go to Power Tools and click on the Visual Data Comparison wizard. It will start a job as usual. You can just click on Next and select your preferred connectivity option. And then you will get an option to sync some selected tables, so sync all the tables. Once you have done that, you just need to specify a job file, and then it will just initiate. So you will see that all the differences that are there are given. You will be able to see the total number of differences that are found. You will be able to move individual data by clicking on it. You will be able to change the tables by clicking on the drop down menu and compare it. You will be able to use preview SQL to generate the script. There are plenty of things that you can do. Now, we also have an option that's called import external data. So SQL provides you an option to import the external data and streamline transfer from any ODBC compliant source. So you can press Control Alt O to initiate this session, or you can go to Power Tools and then go to Import External Data. So it requires an appropriate ODBC driver matching the data source installed in the system where SQL Yoga is running. Now, there are two ways how SQL you can use such driver. One, by using the DSN setting, that is, this option is used by ODBC data sources, no matter if the data source is available on the local or remote system. Or you can specify a data source file. So in this case, the ODBC driver details will be passed to the program transparently for the user. This option can be used only if the data source is in the local system or for a specific type of data sources. So currently we support plain text files like TXT, CSV, Microsoft Excel files like XLS, and Microsoft Access files like .mdb. So you'll be able to see that here. This is how import external data looks. You'll be able to select the data source according to your requirement from Access, Excel, CSV, and ODBC. You can select a file name or create an ODBC data source name. You will just need to enter the credentials for the data source. And once you do that, you'll be able to proceed. You'll be able to initiate the connection with one of our various connection or connectivity options, and then you'll be able to initiate the import. We also have an option to do incremental imports. So if you want to repeatedly import data from any external ODBC source, you will if you want to get only the fresh rows, the ones which were not imported during the previous import sessions, that is what is called incremental import. The main problem in organizing such an import is how to distinguish between fresh rows and imported ones. So IED offers you a simple and effective solution for this with the following two features. You can arrange your incremental import session. You can use triggers to update the imported rows. That way, you'll be able to mark the ones with special value to a certain column. You can use SQL where feature to define a condition that will filter out the rows marked by the triggers. So that this is an example where you can, assume the table. If there is an address, you can select this particular string column remark, which you can modify without any negative consequences. You can use trigger to have this column field filled with the value imported for each successfully imported row. Then you will be able to use SQL where statement to ensure that only fresh rows are imported. After you check the box next to address, you can press advanced, and you will see a new advanced option. There you will just need to switch to the tab trigger options of the appeared dialog. Then check the option that says update source row, and select the column remark in the field source and type imported in the field value. Uh, then you will see the automatically generated statement under the grid. You can just press the button parse as you see here to make sure that this statement is valid. If it is valid, you will see SQL statement is valid. Once you have closed the message box and clicked OK to save the trigger, return to the import external toolkit wizard and press the button where. There you will be able to specify a clause that appears in the dialog. Again, you will need to filter out the rows which have remarks set up to imported. Your clause must be remark and then imported, and please pay attention that imported must be in quotes and where must be omitted. Then you can again press on pass to check it. If you get the notification that SQL statement is valid, then it's all good to go. You can close the message box, press OK, save the statement, and return to import external data wizard and proceed with the wizard. Now, please note that this will also offer you a choice to run the import immediately or use the Windows scheduler to save and schedule the job. If you choose to schedule the job, then you'll be able to use it repeatedly with whatever schedule you have arranged. At each time, SQL Yoga will import only the rows that do not contain imported in the remark column, and then mark imported rows with imported. So this was basically a quick overview of the Power Tool features. Now, as I mentioned before, plenty of times we have a virtual tour available on YouTube, but I'll just guide you through that right now. So this is how SQL Yoga looks. This is the 64-bit version because that is the only version we have available now. Uh, this is where the power tool feature is. You can see data synchronization wizard, visual data compare wizard, schema synchronization wizard, and import. All of these things are available here. So how do you go about with working with SQL Yoga here? So this is where you will be able to see various connectivity options. How do you see that? So you just need to go to file and then click on a new connection, and you'll be able to make a new connection. As you can see, we have made various new connections with multiple servers that are available as multiple tabs here. So you can use any of these connections. We have direct connection. That is the fastest way to connect and manage your MySQL server. This is the preferred method if you're not being concerned about your MySQL traffic being spoofed. However, this requires direct access to MySQL server. So most ISPs block the MySQL port and disallow remote access. So which is why some of us use this HTTP tunnel. So you just need to select this and click on OK, and then you will need to just encrypt if you want to encrypt the contents of your MySQL traffic. But once the efficiency of the connection, then you can use the SSH tunneling option. We have HTTP tunneling as well. That is something that if helps you if your MySQL provider has disallowed remote access, then you can use this. The response is slow compared to the previous options because the data is encoded and HTTP is stateless by nature. However, you can still use all the features of SQL Yoga. That is HTTP tunneling. Here you can establish a secure channel as well. So this is where you can establish a secure channel by using SSH tunneling, and you just need to put host address, username, password. It just adds another layer of security by establishing a secure channel. So we also have an option SSL encryption. With this, all communication between SQL Yoga and MySQL server is encrypted. The MySQL server needs to support this option to ensure that you are able to connect through this. Again, you just need to check this and click on OK to provide the information. Now, we also have a read-only mode in SQL Yoga. So when you are trying to connect, we have an option here that's called read-only. So what is a read-only mode? It is a flag that is checked in settings for a connection. So it enforces clients read-only from client side from the SQL Yoga GUI, and the editor, no matter if the user is server side privileges allowed them to write or not, it will only provide read only privileges. Now when you have checked this read only connection, you'll be able to retrieve data from the server, use user variables, define session scope of a server variable. Everything else you need to work with data as long as you don't need to write with the server. So these are various connectivity options. If you have once you have put in the connection details, you can click on test connection to see if it works. If you have saved those connection details, from the drop down you can select which one you prefer to have, and you can select those connection detail, and SQL Yoga will automatically fill it, and you can test it again and then connect it. Now you can also export or import connection details. Just as a quick reminder, all you need to do is just go to tools and then go to import export connection details. So this will allow you to uh, save the session same points. Exporting will allow you to transfer the connection details to other machines, and you can import it later in SQL Yoga. This is something pretty important. You can just click on this and save the file name to export it and then import it later by going to tools and import, and you can import it from the open file. Right. Now, SQL Yoga also have ability to save session save points, so that is available here. This is this save session save point. So what this does is it helps you, save open connections from the save point in the same state as when the save point was generated. So SQL Yoga will restore your previous session along with all the query tabs, query builder tabs, schema designer tabs, and history tab, all just the way you left it. So you can either just manually save a session save point, or you can just go to the preferences options, and then click on others, and then click on restore session on startup. This will allow you to restore save this session, and if SQL Yoga crashes, then you can pull it up. If the power goes out or something happens and SQL Yoga suddenly shuts down, you can just pull your work from where you left it by restoring the session on startup. Now, we have various editing options here, but today we are, as I mentioned before, we are focusing on the Power Tool feature. So we'll just quickly go through some of the database synchronization wizard like this. We just need to select a database that we need to sync. So let's select a database here. and we need to select the database that we want to sync and click on next. Now it's up to us on what kind of sync we want, one way, two way, or visually merged data. As I mentioned before, this just syncs from source to target. Two way will sync both source and target with each other, and visually merge will help you, visually identify the data before merging. So you just need to click on next. Sync all the tables or sync selected tables. It's up to you. Once you have done next, you just need to you can select email notifications as well. So let's say if there is a error, or if it's successful, you will get an email notification as well. Or you can decide what to do about an error, if you want to abort during an error. Now, as I mentioned before, there is an option to run it immediately, or run it and save and schedule using Windows Scheduler. So you just need to click on next, finish the job, specify the job name by just click on finish. It will say it is saved successfully, and then Windows Scheduler will pop up. You just need to schedule a new task, and you'll be able to do it daily, monthly, weekly, whenever you want, at whatever time you want, how many times you want. It's up to you. So once you have scheduled this, it will just run that particular scheduler automatically. So this was database synchronization. We saw how to schedule as well. Now we have schema synchronization. So this is how a schema sync looks. Now, schema sync, as I mentioned before, is something that will help you, sync your tables, indexes, columns, and routines between two different databases and generate script to bring them in sync. So you just need to select one of these many databases that we have. So you just need to select this and click on compare, and you'll be able to see uh, a script will be generated automatically here, and you can execute that script. You'll be able to see the changes here. So the options that are available in the target database and are there in in this source database is available in green. Those that needs to be created in target are in green here, as you can see. Now, if there are objects that needs to be altered, they will be in blue, and objects that are to be dropped, they are uh, in gray. And if there are any identical objects, they will be in black. So once you have executed this particular script, it will just complete the synchronization of the entire two between these two databases. Now this was a schema sync. We have the option, as I mentioned before, of visually comparing the data. So you just need to click on this, start a new job, select the connection that you want. I'll again select the connection I want. Select the database that you wish to have. So I'll just select the database I wish to have, and then if I want to sync all the tables, I'll just sync all the tables, and this will just this will just show if those tables are available. If any of those tables are not available at all, then you'll be able to see that here. So if the table does not exist at all here, you can just move it. You can just select all and move it there, and you'll be able to move the tables on the target database. Now, you can also preview SQL, as I mentioned before, to see the SQL preview of these entire changes. So it will display the summary of the queries, which will be executed in the source and target database. So once you have moved the info, you just need to click on apply changes to apply the particular changes, and it will be automatically applied. And in a few seconds, the entire source and target database will be in sync. So these are some of the power tool features. Uh, as I mentioned before, you can also import external data from an ODBC source. You just need to select any of these sources available here and select the file name or put in the ODBC source detail, put a username and password and click on next to import from an external wizard. So this is SQL Yoga's power tools. These are the options that are available to help you quickly, manage, sync your MySQL database, cut your work short. Now, this was just a quick walkthrough. Again, we have a virtual tour available on YouTube. You can just note down this address or check out the video presentation by clicking on how by typing how to manage MySQL and MariaDB databases easily and using SQL Yoga on YouTube. You will get this. Now, there are some limitations to the trial. As I have mentioned plenty of times before, you will be able to see the number of days left in the trial period. Once the trial period is over, it will exit immediately. You'll only be able to sync 2 tables per job executed in data sync. Backup will only allow 2 objects to be exported per job executed. 2 objects may be of any identical or different type. Now, import external data will only allow 2 tables to be imported or migrated per executed job. Now, the license is perpetual, so you can use it for as long as you need. Once you have purchased the license, you will not be able to register the trial version. You will need the full license installer that will be available in the WebView customer portal area to install and register your license. And once you purchase the license, you will get a welcome email that with the link and the credentials for the portal. So ways to help during the trial. So if you need any help, our support team is available at IDERA, MySQL support at idera.com. You can drop me an email at dean@idera.com if you need any discounted pricing offer. We are also available on the intercom chat box on webyoke.com. So this was basically the entire presentation on SQL Yoga. Please reach out to us if you need any assistance. My name is Dean, and I'm here to help you in every way when you're using or trying out SQL Yoga. Thanks for your time. Have a blessed day. Stay safe.